One Takrady and Sky Power 93.5 FM also in Takrady. In the Bono region, this is Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani, and in the Ahafo region, Hames Radio 106.5 megahertz in Goso. In the Ashanti region, this is Alpha Radio 104.9 in Kumasi, and Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. This is Global 105.1 FM in Ho, and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya, both in the Volta region. Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale in the northern region. Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura in the upper west region, and Source 100.1 FM in Boku in the upper east region. This is CAP 101.3 FM in Nakpanduri in the northeast region. Your comments are welcome via our WhatsApp line 0549 986 996. You can follow me on Twitter at Selom Adunu. The hashtag, as always, is Citi Newsroom. Now, we get into our first story where the Nurses and Midwifery Council has increased the amount a nurse or midwife has to pay for certificate verification from 550 cedis to 3,000 Ghana cedis. The upward adjustment took effect from March 8th this year. The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association has kicked against the increment, describing it as an attempt to curtail the immigration of nurses and midwives. Its president, Perpetual Ofori-Ampofo, joins us on the line to give further clarification to the association's opposition to the hike. Hello, good evening, ma'am. Welcome to Eyewitness News. The Nurses and Midwifery Council has always increased, or reserves the right to increase its certificate verification. And so, why is the association opposed to this particular increment now?
Thank you for the question. Good evening to you and your listeners. The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association has no problem with the mandate of the Nursing and Midwifery Council as being the regulatory body that regulates the practice of nurses and midwives in Ghana, and for that matter, has the responsibility to verify the licenses of these practitioners. And we also don't have anything against the Nursing and Midwifery Council as having the mandate to review its fees and charges. The problem we have is the quantum of increment, that a fee that existed as 550 Ghana cedis could be increased astronomically to 3,000 Ghana cedis. That is where we have a problem. That is where the problem is. And we would not even be talking about this if the 3,000 Ghana cedis was going to be the charge or fee for premium services, whereby, let's say, within 72 hours of your application, you are provided the service. But we are talking about regular service that takes up to over 2 months and over. So, if you look at the other charges that the Nursing and Midwifery Council has increased, as far as we are concerned, we are not seeing all those regular fees and charges being increased by 445.5%. So that is why we have a problem, and we think that it is totally unacceptable, and that figure should be reviewed downwards considering our economic circumstances as nurses and midwives, and the fact that we have various levels of carers amongst us, and that amount is not something that can be. It is not even somebody's monthly earning or somebody's end of month salary. So how do you expect people to come up with that amount of pay? Verification of foreign verification of licenses is important, not only when somebody wants to go and practice abroad or want to go and work abroad or is traveling abroad, but in some circumstances, people are going to school. They are going to do certain programs that require them to verify their license first before they can actually do those programs. So we see it as just a means to stop people or to stop nurses and midwives from traveling abroad. And we think that it is unfair. It's a punitive way of addressing the matter, and we should address our minds to why are nurses and midwives moving from Ghana? Why do they want to move from Ghana? And tackle those issues and not put in punitive measures to stop them from moving. After all, is it only nurses that are moving? We have doctors and other allied professionals moving. And even the general public, within the general populace, People are also traveling abroad. They are all traveling. Go to our embassies and go to the embassies and go and see people struggling for visas and all of those things, just to go outside and work. And it is the individual's right. It's to make that informed decision to travel. Traveling is not today's matter. People have been traveling out of Ghana to many countries for so many years. Pre-independence, post-independence.
So have have they explained the reason for the increase or the increment in the charges? Have they provided any information to you in respect of the increase? Why they decided to increase it this time? Have they said so? Anything in that regard?
Well, I haven't. I don't. They haven't communicated any such to us.
So is it not just
in the best position to explain
very well
the reason for that quantum increment?
So why then do you assume that the increment is because they want to discourage nurses from traveling outside the country?
Look, we live in a country where we as nurses and midwives know what we are experiencing. When you want to travel abroad, the process starts from you having to go to the Ministry of Health, pick a form which is called clearance form, and then you fill it, you take it to your facility where you work, they endorse it for you, then you go to the Nurse and Midwifery Council to get your verification done. The clearance form used to be, you didn't even have to pay for the clearance form at the level of the Ministry of Health. Then they increase it to 20 cities, increase it to 100 cities, increase it to 300, now they've increased it to 500 cities. All as a means of generating some internal generated funds. You see? And it is all coming out of the pocket of the nurse and midwife. How much do we receive at the end of the month? So it is a deliberate effort to just curtail our movement abroad. In any case, then you should also be helping me. Let them answer why have they increased it? If it is not to stop us from moving, knowing very well that the increment from 550 to 3,000 is astronomical. Why would they do that? If it is not to stop people from migrating out of the country or nurses moving out, then what is the reason?
Because you just told me that it is not only for those who want to travel outside, those who want to, for greener pastures, those who also want to go to school or do other things also go through the same verification process. So by the same logic, are we saying that the NMC is discouraging people from going to school then?
Not that per se. You see, when you look at the percentage of those who are doing the verification to go to school as compared to those who actually are in the process of registering with regulatory bodies outside, that of those going to school is small in terms of percentage as against those that are actually registering with licensing bodies out there to go and work. You get it. But the crux of the matter is we need to understand what informed the movement of the amount from 550 to 3,000. What at all has changed within the period in which we are in to actually support that quantum of increment. And like I said earlier, that the verification fee is not the only fee that the Nurse and Midwifery Council increased. And other fees were also increased, but not by that margin. So if it is not to curtail the movement and it is to generate funds or whatever the reason is, we still would want to say firmly that the quantum of increment is not right, it's not acceptable, and the amount should be reduced.
How about if the cost of providing services generally is gone up, and so this particular one also is gone up because everything appears to be going up, cost of living is up, and so the service itself goes up. And I may want to find out also, when was the last time this particular fee saw an increase?
I don't remember the last time that it was increased. I don't have that information offhand. And it is one of those questions you should also be asking the National and Midwifery Council. But as to your question of, what was the first one?
The cost of service has gone up generally for everything.
Yes, so knowing that the cost of services generally has gone up, and the fact that the salaries we are receiving hasn't gone up by that margin, that is the more reason why that we should not shift the burden. That burden should not be shifted on the poor nurse or midwife. And in any case, we haven't received any reasoning behind that increment. But what we are saying is that if you look at the other fees and charges that have been increased, it wasn't by that margin. And for that matter, increasing it from 550 Ghana cedis to 3,000 Ghana cedis in our view is more of a punitive measure to hold on to. And it's not happening only in Ghana. A lot of things are going on within the sub-region and indeed within Africa with some of these unhumane strategies being put in place just to stop people from, especially our nurses and midwives across the continent, not to go. And it has resulted in demonstrations, resulted in strikes, resulted in so many other things. The point is, people want to have decent living. They want to have a life that can allow them to do how they earn, how they want to do that. It is their individual decision. And it is their right to migrate. So we should be putting in strategies to retain our nurses and not putting some of these people to hold them back.
I see, because in the conversation you said it used to be free, went to 20, then to 100 to 300, etc. But jumping from 20 to 100 is equally astronomical, just as increasing from 550 to 3,000. But that's fine. So how does?
Let me clarify. Okay. Let me clarify that for you.
Okay.
For that one, that is the clearance form at the Ministry of Health. The clearance form at the Ministry of Health. That is different from the verification fee that is charged by the National Medical Council.
Okay, so do you know how much was charged as verification fee before it got to 550?
No, I don't have that information for you.
So it does appear that it's been a long time since this fee has been revised.
No, you cannot jump to that conclusion. You cannot jump to that conclusion. You would have to investigate and also get the National Medical Council to answer some of these questions. That is the only time you can say for sure that it's been a long time that fee was increased. That you cannot. The fact that I don't have the answer for you is not the reason why you can also come to that conclusion.
I appreciate that. But of course, we'll put the question to the Nurses and Midwifery Council when we do get them. But you work with them. So tell us, how do they work? Are they subject to the control of Parliament in terms of the Fees and Charges Act, etc.? Or they operate in autonomy? They do it as they please?
Well, when all of these things happen, I'm getting to learn that agencies actually under the Ministry of Health, when they want to, apart from the Ministry of Health, other sectors, where they want to increase fees and charges, there's a non-tax unit under the Ministry of Finance that will engage them and then agree on certain figures and then push it into the budget. It goes to Parliament and then it is approved. So that is the likely route that this could have happened. I sit on the board of the NMC, and I can tell you for sure that we did not take line by line, or we did not have line by line discussions on these matters. And we did not discuss this verification fee being moved from 550 to 3,000 Ghana cedis. All the same, it has gone through Parliament for it to be approved. But we are, nurses and midwives are citizens of Ghana, and if we know that what is being done to us is not right or it's not acceptable, we have every right to talk about it and put in actions that will register our displeasure. And that is why we are saying that the 550 increment to 3,000 is unacceptable. We acknowledge the fact that even if it's been a long time that this fee was increased and it had to be increased, it could have been increased, but not by that margin. And even if that 3,000 Ghana cedis was to serve the purpose as a fee or a charge for premium service, we wouldn't have any problem with it. If you have your money and you can have the service within 72 hours or shorter than that, why not? You go and pay and then you get the response that you need. But to have a regular fee as it stands from 550 to 3,000 Ghana cedis is just not acceptable.
I see. The obvious question, next question then is, what would you do as nurses and midwifery, registered, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association? Will you want to engage the council, or there's nothing you can do about it?
Well, when the issue came up last weekend, not this one, the previous one, we actually issued a communique on the 11th of March and wrote formal letters to the National Medical Council, to the Ministry of Health, to the Speaker of Parliament, to the Majority Leader of Parliament, to the Minority Leader, to the Chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health. All of them, we wrote formally. Beyond the communique that we had issued, we wrote formally in respect of all those institutions and said, please, we need a review of this fee, because the agitations that are coming from across the nursing and midwifery fraternity is too much. And it's all because of the we know and appreciate if there's need for any increment. We are even saying that 25% increment would, and if it is 445.5%, it is just too much. We have done all that. We did not hear from anybody. The council had to hold an emergency virtual council meeting, and the decision was taken that if we haven't had any responses from all these quarters, then the next line of action should be for us to be in Red Bank from today up to 27th. On 27th, if there's still not any better response in terms of reviewing the figures downwards, then we withdraw OPD services and follow it up with other actions.
I see, but how are people who think that the association might have let its people down by not opening its eyes to things like this? Because it was a process. It happened from the health ministry to the finance ministry to parliament before it was passed and all of that. It was quite a long process. We should have attracted the attention of the association. You don't think so?
I'm telling you, I sat on the board and I didn't even see it. What happened was, we knew there was going to be increment of fees and charges. But whatever document was submitted to the parliament, we were not privy to it. So if you say that we didn't open our eyes or we didn't monitor events, we live in Ghana. We know how some things are done sometimes, especially when it has to do with generation of funds for whatever services or to support whatever it is. At the end of the day, certain things are done, and if you are a threat to it, or you would have to speak, you are the possible person who will be speaking against it or whatever, you are cut off. You are cut off of it. But to be frank, I'm saying that yes, there was need to increase fees and charges, but for this particular item, the quantum of increment is just too much. It is just too much. That is the bottom line. And that is why we are calling for a review of the fee downward. That is all.
Very well. Madam President, thanks so much for speaking to us. Perpetua Ofori Ampofo is the president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. They are unhappy with the quantum of increase in the certificate verification fee, which is moved from 550 cedis to 3,000 Ghana cedis. They obviously have a problem with that. And we see how this particular matter pans out in the next coming days. We're working the lines to speak to the Nurses and Midwifery Council. Just when we have them, we will bring their side of the matter to you. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. A few of your messages on this matter that have come through. Daniel Akpaleo from Sandema says the decision of the NMC to increase the verification fees of nurses from 550 to a whopping sum of 3,000 is clear extortion and a grand scheme by the government to curtail the exit of nurses and midwives from Ghana. If they want nurses to stay in the country, government should, as a matter of urgency, improve the conditions of service of these professionals and stop these needless extortion. You say Ghana really needs JM back. Mausi Ayebi in Volta region says it is crucial to strike a balance between ensuring the credibility of nurses' qualifications and allowing for professional mobility and opportunities for growth. Excessive verification measures could potentially limit the ability of nurses to seek better conditions working conditions and professional development opportunities in other countries, ultimately diminishing the diversity and quality of healthcare services worldwide. It is important to find solutions that support both quality assurance and the rights of nurses to pursue opportunities that enhance their skills and well-being. It looks more like a thesis attack. Akapol Jr. says in Hafomim says the agency may reserve the right to increase the fees, but it's totally unacceptable to hike it to the level. They should consider the economic crisis and rather reduce the charges if possible. Toby Denny says, as an effect from the 2023 budget that was passed to allow the Minister of Finance to increase fees and charges, which was challenged by the minority, these increments, including that of other agencies like FDA from 2,700 to 4,000 for fast-track registration, were done by the Minister of Finance without recourse to Parliament, you say. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break, return with more. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Tell you guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that?
Yes, so
somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer.
Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman.
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Let me tell you about my king. Always looking out for the family and making sure we have the protection we need. Mine has been caring for our family from generation to generation. Let me tell you, mine makes sure I smile always. Mine makes sure we save money.
Abba, these women are at it again. Is it your husband you are speaking so highly of?
Oh no, we are talking about the new Pepsodent 200 grams.
It's the Pepsodent Kokroko promo. This is the Pepsodent 175 grams you have always loved. Now with an additional 25 grams free for cavity protection and 10 times stronger teeth for your entire family. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Ladies and gentlemen, Telecel is here!
Telecel, connecting energies.
There are some classy celebrations that calls for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle, up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. A private legal practitioner, Martin Pubu, says the suspension of approval of the new ministers and deputy ministers of state by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, will not have any negative impact on governance. Alban Bagbin on Wednesday suspended the approval process as a result of the president's failure to accept the anti-LGBTQ plus bill. The Speaker says until a pending application before the court seeking to restrain him from continuing with the approval process of the new ministers is heard, Parliament cannot approve the nominees. Private legal practitioner Martin Pubu says the Speaker's action is justified.
But the substance of the matter is that the Speaker too is justified because there is a matter in court
seeking to restrain the Speaker and Parliament from proceeding with the approval of the nominee ministers. And so once that matter is in court, the Speaker is justified in not continuing with that process. It's law. So let's go through the legal process. When it's done, sure. And for those who are worried, some will say, oh, but the government business, those ministries need to go ahead. In the first place, rest assured that there are lots of technocrats there. Lots of these ministers are not technocrats. They don't even have the technical know-how. It is the technocrats at the ministry who guide them, the directors and chief directors. So as for the work, rest assured it will go on smoothly. It's not that these nominee ministers are the best brains that we have, and so if they don't go into the ministries, those ministries will collapse. No, that's not it, right? Yeah, so there should be no fear, there should be no panic, no alarm. But coming to the matter itself, if the president, if it's the case that they think at all costs this process should be hurried, then in law, there's what we call abridgment of time, right? So they can apply to the Supreme Court to abridge the time and some other things so that there will be an expeditious trial of the matter.
Martin Pogbu says although the interlocutory injunction applications before the court in both instances have not been granted by the court, the decisions taken by the President and the Speaker are in order.
We have what we call the substantive case. So you hear the writ, the summons. So the summons, even that alone, even if you don't add an application for injunction, the summons alone is sufficient to cause the President to say, look, the matter is in court, let me wait. Because it is contempt when a matter is in court and then you go ahead and do something that renders the court case useless, even if there is no application for injunction and even if no injunction has been granted. Okay, let's repeat. Under our laws for contempt, when a matter is in court, whether there is an application for injunction or not, or whether the injunction has been granted or not, there are certain things that if you do and they touch the core of the case before the court, that is to say, by the time the court is going into the matter, you as a party, you've already taken certain decisions that will make the court sitting on the matter a foolish case, that will make the court sitting on the matter a waste of time and everything. That is contempt.
You heard private legal practitioner Martin Pogbu. The Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference is urging the President and Speaker of Parliament to work together to ensure that the will of the people is implemented. While the President refused to assent to the anti-gay bill, as it is popularly called, the Speaker of Parliament also suspended the approval of new ministerial nominees, citing a court case. Speaking to City News, Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi, President of the Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference, emphasized the need for both the executive and legislature to work together in the interest of the public.
We are very surprised that the thing gets to the president and the president has not signed it yet. People can go and make their case anywhere, anytime, but as to whether the president should listen to what the Supreme Court says first on some individual's presentation before he assents or not, we don't know whether the law provides for that or not. And in the circumstances that we have, when this law has come from the people to Parliament and Parliament has voted unanimously in favor of this, I do not find any basis on which the president can stand to say that he will not assent to the bill. And we call on them to do what is right, what the law, what the constitution provides, because they are making all of us very worried and disturbed about these complications that are being brought into this. When for us, it's very straightforward. We know Parliament passes a bill, it goes to the president, and the president assents or sends it back with comments. Then Parliament knows what to do again. That is what we are used to. That is a normal way. But this one looks like it's a novelty. That is why we also are not very sure whether there is a provision. If there is no provision for that, why should the president wait?
Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi is the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference. The National Disaster Management Organization says it has begun extensive engagements with residents likely to get affected by the spill water from the Wager Dam, advising them to relocate to higher grounds. The Ghana Water Company Limited has outlined that the spilling process would commence at a low rate to minimize its downstream impact, but the actual rate would be dictated by the incoming flow of water into the dam. In light of these measures, the Director of Communications of NADMO, Georgia EC, expressed optimism that the adverse effects of the spillage will be mitigated this time around, despite the persistent threat posed by the recurring spillages.
When the Ghana Water Company is about to do the spill, they engage NADMO, especially at the district level. And so NADMO is fully aware of that. As a result of that, we have informed the people living downstream to evacuate if need be, so that, we saw how it affects them almost every year when the spillage is done. Most of them have built close to the buffer or even entered the buffer, so they are inundated by the flood water. So we get community engagement and sensitization in partnership with the Assembly so that people will move to higher and safer places to avoid any possible inundation.
That was the Director of Communications of the National Disaster Management Organization, George Aisi.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Ghana must grow.
KB, yo. Hey, KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Oh, wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokro, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
Easter is just around the corner, and Volta Serene Hotel has something extraordinary planned just for you from March 29th through to 1st of April 2024. Bobo celebrations and unforgettable moments await you. Our 2-night package starts at just 4,400 Ghana cedis for couples and 7,150 Ghana cedis for a family of 3 or 4. Looking for an extended stay? Our 3-night package is available at 5,604 Ghana cedis 50 pesos for couples and 9,350 Ghana cedis for a family of 3 or 4. Book your escape now on 054 153 9867 or 020 503 8763. It's Easter at Volta Serene Hotel. Come feel the serene touch.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you. Can't feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that.
Yes, so
somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza.
Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer.
Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman.
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now to some other stories. The national service, or before the national service comes in, let me read this message. Togbu Dennis says that as an effect from the 2023 budget that was passed to allow Minister of Finance to increase the fees. I think I saw that. I saw that earlier. Now the National Service Personnel Association, NASPA, is having some difficulties in respect of the payment of their allowances or the non-payment of it. And they say that they will embark on a strike or demonstrate to demand the unpaid allowances. They lament that despite several promises to have their grievances addressed by the National Service Secretariat, none of those have been fulfilled. General Secretary for NASPA, Nana Edu Jemfi, joins us on the line for some more details on this. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. I don't have Nana Edu Jemfi on the line. Eno gives us some more stories.
The Electricity Company of Ghana in the Ashanti region has restored parts of the region which witnessed power outages following the vandalization of 8 of its pylons. Some unknown persons on Tuesday, March 19, vandalized the ECG high-tension towers by removing bolts and nuts from the bases, forcing 8 towers to fall. This led to several communities experiencing power outages for the past 48 hours. Public Relations Officer of the ECG in the Ashanti region, Benjamin Obenentry, tells City News, though power has been restored to affected communities, security officials are hunting for the persons behind the act.
Once the line got damaged, or should I say the towers got damaged, when we went to site, we noticed that it was a double circuit line, which means it was 2 lines. So we need to look at how best we can restore power supply to all affected customers. So since Tuesday to yesterday, Thursday in the evening, our sub-transmission line maintenance team were able to string one side of the line and then repaired one side of the broken pylons. So as we speak, they completed the work yesterday evening and all customers are back on supply. So those who afforded the opportunity to take time to restore the 8 fallen towers, like we will try to reconstruct the pylons as well as weld the bolts and nuts to prevent any future occurrence. So as we speak, we've been able to restore power supply to all affected communities and the work was completed late last night.
Public Relations Officer of the ECG, Benjamin Obenentry. An environmental NGO, Arocha Ghana, is predicting doom for the country's water production over unregulated mining activities around water bodies. The Ghana Water Company Limited shut down several of its treatment plants over galamsey activities. Despite efforts by the water company to draw attention to the impact of these activities on water production, illegal miners continue to conduct their activities with impunity. Deputy Director at Arocha Ghana, Daryl Bosu, speaking to City News as the world marks International Water Day, says the country has a lot to lose if we do not protect our water sources.
There's already several decades of empirical research that has shown that mining and pollution associated with it leads to a lot of health risks from heavy metal contamination of water bodies. Then again, the absence of water in communities will also have implications for all of us, for domestic use, also for industrial use. Remember in 2016 when the Isawam water treatment facility was affected due to a blockade along the Daintree River, the whole of Accra virtually came to a standstill. Couldn't go to the hospital, workers couldn't go to work, hospitals came to a halt because all the water. So, I mean, in terms of what we are going to lose as a country, I see every sector of the economy suffering significantly if the water crisis really becomes real. At the moment, the pollution is there. We still have water flowing through our taps, so we don't seem to care. But it is going to come to a head very soon, and we are all going to feel the punch. And I think that we better start now doing something about it than we have done so far.
Daryl Bosu further urged the citizenry to rise up against any activities in their communities that will threaten access to water.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We've managed to get the NASPA, the National Service Personnel Association Executive National General Secretary back on the line. They say that they have not been paid for a number of months and they are intending to strike or demonstrate to demand these unpaid allowances from government. It's National General Secretary Nana Edu Jemfi joins us on the line with some more information. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Exactly how much does the government owe you?
Good evening, sir. On record, we are being owed for 3 months.
And how much is allowance per month?
Oh, the allowance is a non-taxable amount of 750.57 pesos.
And so, have you engaged the scheme, and what have they been telling you?
Yeah, of course. As national leadership, we have engaged the scheme even before the payment of the 2 months. Before this week, we were being owed 5 months, and then the beginning of this week, we were paid allowances for the 2 months, which we are now left with the 3. Even before then, we have been engaging the scheme numerous times about why that long period that our allowances have not been paid. At some instances, they cited issues as to evaluation problems, to issues of unapproved e-switch and all that. But I think at this point, from our perspective as national service personnel, we have done everything that we should. We have made sure that we have been evaluated. We have printed our evaluation forms, signed them, and submitted them to the appropriate quarters. And so if there are any other issues that they feel that that is reasons why we have not been paid, then we, the national service personnel, are out. And that means any other problem that could be this from their outfit. But then again, whichever issue that they think that could be an excuse for me and our people, it is still unacceptable, because for 3 months and then we don't know what these people do at work, because if for 3 months a specific problem can still not be resolved, then we don't know what they do. And so at this point, we are not taking any excuses. We are just waiting on them to give us a specific date that our monies will be in. If not, we will engage our people, and whichever action that we decide on, we'll go by.
About how many are you across the country?
For now, there are 2023 people. About 122 people have been deployed, which we are waiting for about
122,000.
Yeah, 122,000, say, which we are waiting for about 45,000 to 60,000 teacher trainees to also be deployed, hopefully by next month.
I see.
So total, we are getting to about 180,000.
So, how much time are you giving government to resolve this? Because we understand that you were planning some action, strike or demonstration. How much time are you giving government?
Yes, our people, a lot of our people are calling for strike and demonstration, but we are waiting on them rather to give us a specific date. And if we think that that date is reasonable enough, that's the duration they will give us, then yes, we will heed to that, then we will wait until that time. But if they give us a period or a date that we feel that is too long, then of course, once it's a negotiation table, we will seek to get a date as soon as possible. Hopefully, the meeting will be next week, so we are looking to get a date within about 2 weeks, or at most about 3 weeks from now, where all the 3 months unpaid allowances should be paid.
All right, so to kindly hold on for me, I have an executive from the scheme. Perhaps he has some answers for you. Let me speak. Hello, good evening, Mr. Armstrong Esa, Director of Corporate Affairs at the National Service Scheme. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Now, these national service personnel across the country say you've not paid them for about 3 months. Is that the truth? Is that correct?
Thank you, and good evening. And good evening to my brother on the other line, and several thousands of national service personnel listening to Citi FM. We owe them for 2 months. You remember some weeks ago, on the 13th of this month, the National Service Management made a payment to clear the arrears we owe them for the month of November and December 2023, which meant that the outstanding allowances to be cleared now remain the January and February. Of course, March very soon would get to the end. But as we speak, we are yet to end the month. But I can say that, yes, of course, we owe them January and February. But I think the issues and the challenges that caused the delay in the payment of their allowances mostly have been cleared. And so we want to assure them that within the shortest possible time, payment will be made to clear the January and February. My brother, I do understand the concern and the plight of our brothers and sisters, the national service personnel. If you work for an institution and a couple of months, your allowances or your salaries have not been paid, it causes some kind of discomfort and some kind of uneasiness. I have a brother, I have family members, I have loved ones who are also doing their national service. And so we empathize with them. We understand the plight they are going through, but we want to assure them that management has taken every step it needs to take to ensure that they are paid within the shortest possible time. Let me use your medium, my brother, once again, to on behalf of the scheme, to also apologize to them for the delay in the payment of their allowances, and then also to appeal to them, to appeal to our brothers and sisters, not to rescind their decision of going on strike or demonstration as it's being rumored to be. The reason is that management is working very seriously towards this. If I tell you the kind of energy, the kind of spirit and the seriousness with which Honorable says today entry, the executive director of the National Service Scheme, has attached to the steps to clear the remaining months, you'll be shocked. And so we want to appeal to them very soon, and within the short.
What do you mean by shortest possible time? That could be quite vague. Shortest possible time means what? Means Monday? Means Friday? Means tomorrow? What does it mean?
Shortest possible. I don't understand that it wouldn't be long. I'm unable to speak to the timelines as you speak because there will be a formal announcement. And of course, when it comes to communication, my brother, you are a giant. When you've not been cleared to speak to certain matters, you can't do so. And so we can assure them, one thing I can confirm to all of them, that within the shortest possible time, the outstanding allowances will be cleared.
But what's the problem? Is it that the scheme doesn't have money? The scheme has not received its releases from government? What is the problem? You said your boss, executive director, is working so hard on this. What does the hard work mean? Is it that he's knocking at the doors of the finance minister to release money? What is the problem?
You see, I have always wanted to move away from the causes of this delay, because the moment you begin to pay more attention to the causes, you rather infuriate the service personnel. I mean, if they know that there's no money, maybe they will be empathetic. No, there is. You see, when you begin to, you rather exacerbate the situation, because all they are interested in is that whatever be the causes, whatever be the problems, they should be resolved. Whatever be the challenges, they should be resolved for the allowances to be cleared or to be paid as soon as possible. And that's exactly what we've done.
Very well. Now, you see, so for example, when Armstrong, when Nana was speaking, Nana Edu-Jemfi, the General Secretary, was speaking, he said that at some point they were told that the mistake or the problem was from them because they didn't submit or fill out the evaluation forms well and all of that. Perhaps there's a proper reason. There is a real challenge, but they are not made to understand what the challenge. If they are told, for example, that no, we are expecting releases, the money's haven't come, so wait, when it comes, we will pay you. They will know what to do. But now, if it's being made to appear as if it's their fault, so now they say they've done all of that. That's why he just told me that he wonders what the people do in the offices, because if there's a problem and you've not solved it till now, then he wonders what the people do in the offices. But if he knows that there is no money, then he knows how to manage himself and how to manage the expectation.
There is. You see, that is why I wanted to.
Oh, there is money?
So I have not said that the fault is coming from the NSP.
No, of course, you haven't said that, yes.
Yes, I haven't said that. And that is why I want us to move away from that. Because, you see, when you move straight into some of these issues, the beginning of every service year, and especially the beginning month, the first, second, third month of every service year. My brother, you've monitored the National Service calendar every year. They come with their own unique characteristics. And I'm sure that is why whoever made the statement you just referred to will say, because from the beginning all the service personnel are supposed to go through their biometric registrations, and then it's possible, there could be some delays in the registration. They have their own unique challenges. But I would not want to talk about some of these courses, but rather appeal to them that within the shortest possible time, the outstanding allowances will be cleared. Every challenge that caused that delay has been cleared. I can assure you. Do you remember those days, those years, the kind of challenges we faced even before the biometric registration and stuff? There were times that payment of allowances got so much delayed because there were some issues, there were some problems. But today, because of the digitalization, because of the biometric processes, as soon as all of them are cleared, within a day, we can pay all of them. And so I just want to assure them that all the processes are being followed, all steps have been taken by the management of the National Service Scheme, and very soon, in the shortest possible time, the outstanding allowances will be paid.
Very well. Armstrong Essa, Director of Corporate Affairs. Thanks so much of the National Service Scheme. Thanks so much for your words, and thanks so much for speaking to us on this program. And we'll hold you to your shortest possible time promise. Thanks so much. But let me speak to Nanedu Jemfi, the Secretary for NASPA. Hello, Nana. So you heard from authority, you heard from the service scheme. They say they'll pay you in the shortest possible time. And he says that they know what the problem is. They are dealing with the problem. Is it comforting enough for you?
No, sir. This is not really comforting for us because, like he reiterated himself, I think we are not in for any excuses, neither are we in for any explanation. All we want is our money. But then, to be very honest, for a very long time, I think this is the most honest answer that we have heard from any staff or any executive of the scheme. A lot of times we don't even get them to even give us like some sort of assurance. So I'm glad that the Corporate Affairs Director tonight has even given us some words, but still that is not enough because we are still after our allowances and not after any explanation. As I am speaking here, I'm not speaking for myself, but I'm speaking for them masses, and so I doubt that about 122,000 people that I informed you earlier will be okay with him just telling us that we will be paid in the shortest possible time. We still don't know what the shortest possible time is, and he said that probably in the coming days there will be a communique on that. We await that. And
I think they have a date in mind, but he doesn't want to be the one to say it because his boss perhaps has to be the one to say it. There's a way things work. So let's pray and hope that it works. We empathize with you. We appreciate the work you're doing, and we hope that things get better. Okay. Nana Edu Jemfi is the National Secretary for NASPA, National Association or National Service Personnel Association, and they are complaining that they've not been paid. They want to lay down their tools or they want to demonstrate. Said they are owed 3 months. The scheme says it's actually 2 months. March hasn't ended, so it's 2 months. All right, thanks so much. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now, the All-African Games. Ghana has been hosting Accra Africa Games. It didn't start quite well. There were a number of issues from the beginning, but it does appear that the games have been settling. Now, the games, Ghana has put up quite some strong performance and all of that. My colleague Edwin Kwakofi, who has been following the games, has joined me in the studio to provide us an update and an overview of what has been happening so far. Edwin, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Pleasure to be here, sir.
Yeah, so what can you say about the tournament or the games? It didn't start well with hockey people. South Africa pulling out, table tennis, volley people, blisters on their feet, cyclists, fiber, alumni, and all of that. It didn't quite start well. But it does appear that Ghana is raking in the medals quite impressively. I mean, a couple of minutes ago, I saw the gentleman on the high jump, I mean, clocking gold. And that's quite impressive. And I understand our princesses to have done great. And the satellites this evening will also be hoping to do us proud. What can you say generally about the game and Ghana's performance?
Well, certainly you were right when you said that the tournament didn't start well in terms of the organization, overall organization, complaints from the athletes about how lackluster their preparations for the tournament has been, complaints from other nations about the infrastructure and how inadequate it's been for some of the disciplines. You mentioned that South Africa pulled their hockey teams out, both men and women, out of the tournament because they deemed the pitch at the Theodosia Oko pitch or stadium was not good enough for their team. And they are a world-class team. They usually compete at the Olympics. They win almost every single African tournament there is. So they felt that looking at how the pitch was, it wasn't adequate preparation for their players ahead of the Olympics, which is this summer. And who knows, the players could possibly suffer some injuries because of it. So they pulled their team out. Our own athletes have been facing trouble. You mentioned the cyclist who, the Ghana's national champion, who had to pull out of the tournament because of his inadequate bike. It wasn't good enough for him to race. The other cyclists did not fare too well, and they've been complaining as well. It's one story that, or one thing that has spread throughout various competitions. Everyone complaining about how inadequate things have been. But as you said, things have improved. The general organization, the marketing for the games has definitely improved over the last couple of weeks. We are seeing more of the schedule ahead of time. People know where each event will take place, so they are able to go to these events. And as a result, we are seeing the stadia, the venues fill up for various events. Yesterday, we saw how packed the Cape Coast Stadium was for the women's football final between the Black Princesses and the Nigerians. And of course, the Black Princesses won. Today, we've seen a number of gold medals for the Team Ghana at the African Games. So far, we've seen today Joseph Paul Amwa win the 200 meters men's event. We saw Cadman Evans Yamwa also win the high jump, as you said. Already in this tournament, we've seen Rose Yeboah win the women's high jump. So Ghana completed a clean sweep of the high jump competitions in men and women's. In athletics, we've seen the Ghana's male team win silver in the 4x100 meters race. The women's team placed third. They won bronze in their event. In other competitions, I think athletics has been the one competition that most people expected Ghana to do the best.
It was quite disappointing, Azamati's performance.
His performance in the 100 meters was very disappointing. He admits the same as well.
Was he under pressure? What was it?
I think, yes, the pressure from competing in front of his home crowd, because as you know, he is a former student of the University of Ghana, might have contributed to it. But
that should rather make him feel at home, right?
It could go one of two ways. Either he does well, feeds off the crowd, or it affects him. The pressure is too much for him. I think it was more of the latter in terms of the pressure on Azamati, and he didn't perform well. He finished fifth in the end, missed out on the medal completely. But so far, Ghana has, I believe it's 14 gold medals now.
14 gold medals?
14 gold medals.
Who tops the table?
Egypt currently.
Oh, I see.
They are well ahead. They have over 93 gold medals so far. And they usually do well at the African Games. They usually top the table. So it's not particularly surprising. But for Ghana, this is the best medal tally at an African Games. I think the previous best was in 1973, where Ghana won 7 gold medals and 27 medals overall. In the last African Games, Ghana won just 2 gold medals and 13 overall. So it's a stark improvement on what we saw last time. Of course, it was helped by the arm wrestling group,
yes.
who won a number of medals. They won, I think, I believe it was 13 gold medals to push Ghana's tally up to currently it's 54 overall. So a decent performance from Ghana in the end to push us into 6th place on the medals table. But it didn't start well. Could have been better, but still overall very impressive.
Wow, thanks so much, Edwin Kwakofi. Edwin Kwakofi is my colleague at Citi FM and Citi TV. He just brought us an overview of the game so far. He thinks that things are getting better. Of course, the games end tomorrow. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break. Return with Citi Business News. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Inusaf. Let's settle for the details. Shareholders of MTN Ghana have approved a total dividend exceeding 2 billion cedis for the 2023 financial year. This follows the recommendation of the board for a final dividend of 17.5 pesos per share to reflect the robust performance of the company for the year. Over 13 billion shares were held by more than 100,000 shareholders during the period under review. Registered shareholders whose names are in the shareholders list by end of business on Thursday, March 28, will all qualify for this final dividend. MTN Ghana, in its 2023 annual report, has set April 12 as the date for final payment. Ishmael Yamson is the board chairman of MTN Ghana, and he's been speaking to the media after the 6th annual general meeting of Scancom PLC in Accra today.
You also notice that we held the AGM early this year. Normally we hold our AGMs in May, but this year we decided to hold it in March so we could protect the value of the money we pay. Because we all understand what's going on, and therefore we decided that we will help our shareholders out by not delaying the payment of dividend too much. And that's why payment actually is only within a month. Normally it's about 2 months before we pay. Well, we paid 22 pesos per share. We paid 5 pesos interim in September last year. And today we have recommended and got approval for 17.5 pesos per share, which comes to 2.6 or so billion cedis, which is, as I said, 75% of the total profit that we made for the year.
Board Chairman of MTN Ghana, Ishmael Yamson. Meanwhile, outgoing CEO of MTN Ghana, Selam Adadevo, says the company is fully committed to sustaining its business growth and driving profitability despite the challenging economic outlook.
So the reality is, we've continued to emphasize MTN's appetite to invest consistently. And the benefits of our performance, a lot of it has to do with the consistent investment over the last several years. And secondly, our discipline in managing our costs. As you saw from the reports, that we're able to manage our cost growth on a year-on-year basis significantly lower than the average monthly inflation. And that, of course, allows you to expand your profits and to index much better in terms of the health of the business. So these are the things we've done to support the financials and the results that you're seeing.
Selam Adadevo is outgoing CEO of MTN Ghana. The business community has welcomed the Office of the Registrar General of Companies' move to commence a nationwide inspection of businesses and companies. The Association of Ghana Industries believes that there are considerable businesses in the country that do not have the requisite documentations underpinning their establishments. In view of that, the AGI noted that the initiative is a good step to deal with such businesses. Here's Greater Accra Regional Chairman of AGI, Chana Makpelu, speaking to the Citi Business News.
The new Companies Act, it mandates the Registrar of Companies to
to embark on this exercise of inspecting companies and ensuring that they comply with the requirements of the law. The AGI views that this is a step in the right direction, given that we're in that era where there's a lot of fraudsters and a lot of people who are engaged in many things that are unacceptable and illegal. And so we believe that any exercise to authenticate and validate the credibility or otherwise the legality of companies in the country are welcome. And we support this initiative. And we actually call on many more companies to comply, because that's the only way we can be seen being good citizens of the country.
That was the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the AGI, Chonam Akpelu. Now, technology expert Maximus Ametoga has lauded the government's decision to bypass the traditional auctioning process for the nation's 5G spectrum, hailing it as a brilliant and forward-thinking move. Speaking in support of the government's initiative, Maximus Ametoga emphasized the need to develop a framework to ensure the effective management and operation of telecommunications platforms. Maximus Ametoga spoke to Citi Business News.
For me, I think it's a brilliant idea from government. So they work on a framework and a strategy, make sure that these platforms are run effectively. And it becomes easier for you to even see that set up as like a national security thing, because if the system goes down, it means the whole country will be affected. So government will be involved in the day-to-day, the monitoring and all that, to make sure that the telcos who are also deploying services on it, are also benefiting, because they are also going to make sure the platforms, function, at the optimum. Anytime the telcos want to leave Ghana or want to discontinue their service in Ghana, so we'll have other players within the state plug in. So it won't be just an infrastructure owned by a person who has chased the spectrum by the auction process, but government now available for everybody to log into it and deploy solutions as quickly as possible. And they may not need that huge, investment employed by the sector.
That was technology expert. That's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. The business news on Eyewitness News is brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Inu Safo. Up next is Point Blank.
Hello, Linda. You won't believe what I am planning next. I want to start my postgraduate degree, buy a car, and build my dream home. But you know what's stopping me?
What's that, Mike?
Money, oh. That be my biggest wahala.
Oh, you are sorted, Kra. With a GCB Big Move Personal Loan promo, you can borrow up to a whopping 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours.
Like, seriously? How do I qualify?
Yes, it's available to all GCB salary account holders. Plus, you get a 2-month grace period before you start to pay back.
Susket, I'm opening an account with GCB now.
Get a personal loan of up to 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours. Call 0800-422-422 or visit your nearest GCB branch today to fund your next big move as we celebrate 70 years of greatness. T's and C's apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
There are some classy celebrations that calls for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle, up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
KB, aka aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Oh, wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope day.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
Imagine strutting into the most anticipated wedding of the year, only to see 7 other girls wearing your exact same outfit.
You are special and one of a kind, and that's why whether it's voice, data, or SMS, you get to enjoy personalized offers tailored to your specific needs with MTN just for you. Dial *141# or select your options on the My MTN app to redeem your unique just for you package on Ghana's best mobile network. MTN.
Spring into celebrations at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel from the 29th of March to the 1st of April. Let's start from Friday 29th, Good Friday. Live band with Effa Keys. Entry is free. At the Continental Restaurant for just 350 Ghana cedis on Friday and 320 Ghana cedis on Saturday and Sunday. Easter Sunday lunch at the Continental Restaurant is just 450 Ghana cedis and then 500 Ghana cedis at the Ghanaian Village Restaurant. There is Easter Monday poolside fiesta on the 1st of April. Swimming costs just 100 Ghana cedis. Stay over at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel this Easter at an unbeatable rate of 1,800 Ghana cedis single occupancy and 2,040 Ghana cedis double occupancy. Easter is best celebrated at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, uniquely golden, traditionally Ghanaian.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Welcome to Point Blank on Eyewitness News. Tonight on Point Blank, we touch base with the striking teachers. Our schools have been left empty. The school children have nowhere to go, loitering about because their teachers are on strike. We've been joined in the studio by Adokwe Ayikwe Awule. Adokwe Ayikwe Awule is a national for the Coalition of Concerned Teachers. Adokwe, you're welcome to Point Blank on Eyewitness News.
Thank you, and good evening to all your listeners.
So this your strike, is it for all basic schools or is it just for the second cycle institutions?
It is for, when you talk about basic schools, you are talking about KG primary and junior high school.
Yes.
And then we have the secondary schools. That is
okay, so they're basic. So
it's
secondary
for both
school,
basic
and secondary.
And then secondary.
Oh, I see. So it's all across.
Yes.
I see. But some of your people are working because we've spoken to a few of them. Some of them said or say they didn't know about the strike and all of that.
It happens.
You don't communicate with your people. You don't inform them that you're going on strike before you go.
Even if you inform, definitely some of them will not get the information. We are talking about over 400,000 teachers in this country, so definitely you will not get it 100%. But we are just sending a message, and we are happy that the message is going.
But normally, before you guys go on strike, we often know ahead of time that there is some issue. But this one, I mean, many people were just surprised. One afternoon, Wednesday, we only read that teachers were on strike, and that was it.
I don't think the modus operandi to go on strike is to inform all Ghanaians that there is an issue. If we could pick the first one, talking about the conditions of service, we even agreed that we will not let anybody know about whatever we are doing until we finish with the negotiations. But it happens that based on the correspondence that we're having with Ghana Education Service and then the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, and they were not responding, that then let us also come out.
So the NLC thinks that your strike is illegal, and they've issued a statement to that regard, and you've seen it, I'm sure, ordering you to go back to the class. Obviously, you've not gone back. You flat. That should come with some consequences. The Fair Wages and Salaries Commission also says that your strike took them by surprise because they were prepping already for a meeting today. Indeed, they sent you a letter a day before the strike. They are of the view that you saw their letter, you quickly went to meet somewhere, three of you, and then you declared the strike.
I wouldn't belabor the National Labour Commission because there have never been a legal strike in Ghana here.
Really?
Yeah.
No, the rules are clear. You inform
when you go into the
employer.
of the National Labour Commission, they have never declared any strike to be legal.
No, but the rules are clear. You inform the employer a number of days, 7 days or so.
Into that one, but we know we have informed them. We know when we wrote the letter on the 29th of February 2024 to the Director General
of the Ghana
we
Education
wrote
Service.
there that National Labour Commission be notified, and then we send them a copy. Maybe they could say that we've not.
Yeah, because you have to write to them or notify them properly.
But we wrote to them. That letter
no, but
went
that
to
letter
them.
they were copied.
You see, you want us to write to you that we will go on strike.
Yes.
Now, this time around, we are not writing to you that we are going on strike. We have written to you that be notified, because if Ghana Education Service and then the other stakeholders don't do anything about this issue in 2 weeks, we'll advise ourselves. Which one is more better?
No, but if you say you advise yourself, what does that mean?
We have advised ourselves. We are still advising ourselves.
So there was supposed to have been a meeting today. You guys saw the letter, you disregarded the letter, went ahead to declare a strike. Is that the case?
We have never disregarded any letter.
Because the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission said that they wrote to you on Tuesday.
We saw the letter on Wednesday.
You saw it on Wednesday?
You see, you cannot write to me officially, then place it on social media on Tuesday night, and then I'll get to the office in the morning. In the morning, all of us could not even go to our offices because we were preparing to declare the strike.
So are you suggesting that they got wind of your strike and so quickly
I wouldn't know. But you see, I don't like the tangent that the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is going. Because at the end, when was the last time they met us? We last met on the 20th of January in Koforidua.
By 20th of January, it's not very distant from today.
We have already agreed that we should conclude the negotiation on the collective agreement by 29th of February. And then we met on the 20th of January. We couldn't conclude. We only concluded on the non-financials. But when it got to the financials, they said they don't have a mandate. Then we left. And they said they will call us. And it took them over a month for them to even write to us. So they wrote to us on the 22nd of February that they will hold a meeting on the 27th. Then on the 26th of February, they reviewed the letter that the meeting will not come on again. Till the so-called letter that they wrote on the 19th. So look at the gap. So you hold a meeting, so they shouldn't go to that tangent that we got a letter. We got the first letter. They wrote to us again on the 26th. February meeting could not come on. And it took them almost a month again. So they shouldn't go to that tangent.
I see. So why are you on strike? Why really are you on strike?
The first conditions of service. This is the old one. It has expired.
Expired when?
August 2023.
Okay, August 2023. So what have you been working with then?
We still hold on to the old directives and everything in this document. But we ought to negotiate for a new one. We've gone into the negotiation. We've sat down, the timelines and everything have been prepared. And we met to discuss this whole thing. On the 20th of January, we were able to deal with the non-financials. When it got to the financials, no mandate. The meeting couldn't be concluded. And we've not met again.
So educate us. If the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission says it doesn't have the mandate to do the financials, who then has a mandate? Finance Ministry?
They ought to go for a mandate. So if they said they don't have a mandate, it means they will go for a mandate.
They will go for a mandate, okay.
and then call us back, and then we negotiate.
So maybe they didn't get a mandate on time.
But they've not told
you know
us.
how things work.
And we wrote to them on the 29th. We wrote to the Ghana, our employer, 29th February, that there is a delay. We should have finished the negotiation today, 29th. But we are writing to you, do something about it. If not, we will advise ourselves in 2 weeks. And the 2 weeks elapsed.
So again, I mean, I bring in the National Labour Commission again. That's where they have the issue. That if you write to an employer, it doesn't amount to writing to them. But that's fine. Are you not concerned about the effect of the strike on the students? Or you couldn't care?
We care. That's why they are children. They spend more time with us than their parents. So we love them. But this is our issue. And we think that this is the best modus operandi through which government will hear us.
And so you decided, I mean, you just embarked on the strike. People, I mean, we didn't know, parents didn't even know, so they could arrange for people to take care of their children. I mean, it just so happened.
We don't have to inform them. We want...
No, but they are stakeholders. Parents should know that you are going on strike.
Never. Why should we inform
so
parents?
the strike should be a secret?
So why should I inform government that I'm going on strike when I've already notified you that I'm giving you 2 weeks, talk about the issue? You've never invited me. It means you have even ignored me.
They invited you. Maybe the letter you didn't see.
2 weeks elapsed. The 2 weeks elapsed. 29th. And then you wrote a letter on the 19th. So the 2 weeks, even the education service never responded to us. So it means you don't care about me. So why should I care about you? So the best thing to do is to go on an industrial action. And that is what we did.
I see. So there was supposed to have been a meeting today. What happened?
We've written back to them that they should reschedule the meeting to Monday.
You wrote back to them when?
We wrote it yesterday.
Yesterday, and you delivered it yesterday?
Yes.
They acknowledged receipt of the letter?
They've not acknowledged receipt.
But of course, so they didn't turn up for the meeting because of the letter?
Yes, because so we are hoping that...
But why couldn't you do the meeting today? Because you were informed on Tuesday, and so by Wednesday you got to know about a meeting today.
You see, all the leadership of the various teacher unions, they are all not in Accra.
No, but all of you came together to declare the strike.
And we
so
came
on
together
that Wednesday, after the declaration of the strike, it got to your attention that there was a meeting slated for today. So you just could have just organized yourselves.
We couldn't have organized
because we're all in town on Wednesday.
No, we also have a right to say that we want to hold the meeting on this day. It is about negotiations. We have our expertise that we rely on before we go in for those various. And meeting the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations is also about labor. We have not said that we will not meet them. And I think we should be given the benefit of the doubt that we said we will meet them on Monday. Fair wages and salaries 22nd, that we will meet on the 27th February. It couldn't come on. They withdrew the letter. Whether we have received formally or not, we saw the letter that the meeting will not come on again. So we've written to them.
People think that you push it to Monday so that the people will suffer one more day, because perhaps after the meeting you would have to call off the strike, and so you decided to push it to Monday.
How come you are concluding that after the meeting we are going to?
No, I said it could so happen that
it means after the meeting they would have dealt with the.
It's possible, is it not?
With the issue of the.
Or maybe they would have told you
conditions of service and then the scheme of service.
No, they would have told you that
they
would have given a roadmap which may be satisfactory.
We've had various roadmaps. When it comes to the scheme of service, we've even presented to them. We got some experts, or some consultants to put up a scheme of service. We paid them huge sums of money, and we've presented it to the Ghana Education Service because GS doesn't have a functioning scheme of service. So you'll be there. Somebody can just be picked to become a head teacher of a school. Somebody can be picked to become director general, even if the person is not in the teaching service. But we realized that we are not having a scheme of service. And we've even presented our own to them after our consultants have worked on it. Until now,
but must somebody be in the Ghana Education Service before the person can head the education service? Because I know that was one of the major issues.
Then I want a president who can pick a teacher to make that teacher an IGP.
No, but if I teach in a university, for example, I am a teacher. I understand education. So, I can be made to head.
So we don't have a problem with that one.
But you had a problem with Eric Nkansa, who
he's never been a teacher. He's not a professional teacher.
We knew that he was teaching in
he has never been a professional teacher.
So So you're talking about a professional.
Yes, I don't want to go into that one
because it was a major issue and it's a major point in your negotiations.
Yeah, we don't have a scheme of service, and that is it. We want to have a scheme of service. I wouldn't like to go into that issue. But what I want to pay, the question that you asked me, I don't think a teacher can be picked to go and be the Inspector General of Police. So let's stop it there. We don't have a scheme of service. So that is our issue. Collective bargaining agreement or the conditions of service. Scheme of service. And then the laptops.
Yeah, so the laptops, they want to give you laptops and you don't want them?
We want them. For over 3 years. We've paid.
And
they deducted our money and the laptops are not coming.
What's the issue? What have they told you the issue?
They've not told us anything, but we are waiting for the laptops. Others have received theirs.
Because the students are going to receive tablets from Monday.
So you see, this is an insult.
No, but
you are indirectly insulting the teacher. You say,
no, yours is a laptop. Yours is a laptop. Yours is a tablet.
Oh, if not for political expediency, why would you ignore the teacher who has paid, and is supposed to give that instruction to the child? And
maybe yours is coming.
And then you even leave the business. If you want to provide laptops or tablets to students, will you start? You could see that during President Kufuor's time, they started from the primary school. Honorable Kojo Bawurido, the late, they started that policy. Because everything ought to start from foundation. It's very, very important. You say, I wouldn't like to go into this politics and all.
So you think the supply of the tablets
but we know what is happening.
Political experience.
They can decide to even give the senior high schools. They can decide to even, for free SHS and the whole thing surrounding those things. We all know. I wouldn't like to go into that one. But they've taken our money. They should give us the laptops. It's over 3 years.
Yeah, but when you engage them, what do they tell you about the laptops? What do they say?
They will give you timelines. The last time we engaged them, they gave us timelines that by November 2023, everybody would have received this. Even November 2023, they were supposed to do mop-up.
Now the cost of laptops have gone up. Maybe you have to top up.
So where was my money?
The money was with the manufacturer, but things have gone up.
So they should have invested the money then. You see, so they should bring those laptops, and then everything will be.
I see. So I'm speaking to Adokwe Ayikwe Awule, who is the National Communication Director of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers. They are on strike. He is helping us appreciate what the issues are: conditions of service, scheme of work, and laptops. But how much did you pay for the laptops, by the way?
Government was supposed to take part of it, so we of 400 Ghana cedis.
400 cedis.
And then government was I'm talking about 3 years ago.
But 3 years ago, laptop was not.
Even 4. It is even 4 years ago.
4 years ago, laptop was not.
I'm talking about 2020, and then government is supposed to top up. But by then, I think the cost of the laptop was around 1,500 or so. Then.
Okay. So how about if government's side of it is not ready? Government has promised to top up.
So government should give us the money.
Your 400 cedis back.
And then tell us that we are unable to add up. So
government gives you 400 cedis now.
And so we are unable to, with interest. And then tell us we are unable to add up. So
I see. Money. Students are home. I mean, parents are concerned. Talk to the parents. And the students are like,
we'll come back. We love them. Very soon they will see us. But it is unfortunate that we are doing this thing. And I think one thing that we are missing, some teachers have also not been paid. And they cannot even get to the classroom and teach.
Yeah, what's the issue about the OSP? What's the issue and what are they telling you?
Teachers have been validated. You see, before you are paid, you go through a whole lot of 3 levels of validation. You'll be validated by your head of school. You'll be validated by the CISO. You'll be validated by the Education Directorate, and then it goes to controller, and controller pays.
Every month.
So controller pays you knowing that your employer says you have done what you are supposed to do. But they went to the bank, and then the bank says OSP has frozen the money.
What reason did the OSP give them?
They required some documents that the teachers are not available. So teachers have to travel from the Northern region to come to the OSP's office to justify that they are still working. Why couldn't the OSP just contact the employer and then tell the employer that this is it? I need this and this and this about this person. And then the OSP arrogates powers onto itself to block the salary of somebody that they've not employed.
The OSP is also doing its work. All right. So you heard Adokwe Ayikwe Awule, National Communication Director of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers, having a chat with us on their strike. They have a big meeting with their employers on Monday. And we hope that at that meeting, they'll be addressed satisfactorily so that our kids and friends and brothers and sisters will return to the classroom. This is how we conclude today's edition of the program. Show produced by Nana Kobna Wilson, Beverly London, and Sami Wiafi. Production assistance given by Desmond Kwashi. Daniel Squash, I beg your pardon. Ella, you heard Eno Safo. Social media support given by Edwin Kwa Kofi. My name is Selom Adonu. Catch me tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the big issue as we deal with the topical matters that came up in the news this week. Up next is Sports Panorama. Have a good evening.